For businesses around the world, today isn't a restart, it's a rethink. That's why they're partnering with IBM. Retailers are keeping their systems up as millions of orders move online. Call centers are using IBM Watson to manage customer questions with AI. And solutions built on the IBM cloud are helping patients receive trusted information. Today we're rethinking how business moves forwards. Let's put smart to work. Visit ibm.com/smart/UK to learn more.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Paranormal Concept Show. I'm your host Paul Rook, and as always we are joined by Kerry Greenaway and Richard Clements. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello you stupendous pair.
How you doing?
Oh, the suspense. Yeah, well, we're getting there, Kerry, aren't we?
Still stupendous.
Slowly,
That's
but-
what I like to
yes,
hear.
Slowly but surely.
Excellent. Have you had a busy week though?
Yeah, very busy week.
Yeah, it's all up and down. Yeah, I was actually round at Kerry's at the weekend, and we watched a film and had a bit of takeout, didn't we, my dear?
Yeah, we watched a film on Tesla that's been out. It hasn't had very good reviews. It's very indie art type movie, but incredibly interesting to watch that play between him and Edison and stuff like that. It's not what you would. It's not like a traditional type movie, so don't go into it thinking that. And I thought I thought it was actually very, very good, except. At the end, the ending, it was very bizarre. All I'm saying, I'm not going to put any spoilers out there, but it lost me at the end. I was like, what? But indie art can do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm well jealous because I wasn't invited.
Well, you live miles away, darling, now.
Yeah, midway up the country, yeah.
So not the point.
What are you doing, lad? And get back to Essex, quick.
I'll be there at the weekend.
Anyway, I've been speaking to the amazing Bear MedicineWalker quite a lot recently, and I've known people that she's working with quite intensely from afar, actually. Shauna and Bex Reynolds from Ghost Dimensions, and they're absolutely mad as a box of frogs, should I say. And I thought I'd invite them on to have a bit of a funner show, rather than we're very heavy on this show sometimes. We go quite deep into concepts and theories. So I thought I'd bring some absolute mad hatters on the show. So welcome to the show, guys. How are you?
Thank you so
We're
much.
good, thank you very much.
We're good.
How are you?
Oh, we're really very, very well. Now, you've been in the paranormal for a long, long time, haven't you? And we've got two different sides here. So we'll talk with Shauna Bex about the paranormal side, and then we'll bring Bear in on her side of things, because she's been on the shamanistic spiritual side for an awful long time as well. So we've got an awful lot to cover today in today's show. So how long have you actually been involved in the paranormal, Shauna Bex?
And from the other side.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Mum,
We've been involved in which the paranormal side for
about 10 years.
about 10 years now. Yeah, 10 years. And
Was she not asking that question to Bit?
was it Tibet?
I think
I've been involved in the paranormal for like 59 years. I've been experiencing
years.
I think you can tell how this show's going to go, everybody.
Well, it's very possible, darling, if my name is Bear. That's right, sir.
Right, shut up now. First question.
Sorry, Bear. Go for it.
You can tell he doesn't listen, can't you?
No, oh God, it's going to be an exhausting show, I feel, by the end of it.
No, he's unleashed now, Carrie, so you're going to be in trouble.
It's like,
I should give Bex my Lucille so she can hit him occasionally.
Hold on a minute. It's Bear coming on, isn't it? Hold on. We have a specific thing for Bear. It's the demon music.
Right, take it away, Bear. I'll just gag him. Go on.
No, that's okay. I think she did ask you guys first, Bex.
Oh, is it us?
Yeah.
We'll let you go first. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was you.
It was you, man. Oh my God, you don't even know what.
Oh my Lord! Should we start again? So you've been in the paranormal for 10 years, but you've come such a long way.
Yeah, we have. We
Do you know what? We were really silly when we started.
What? More silly than you are now.
Can you imagine us back then? So, like 10 years ago, we decided to go on a ghost hunt, and so we
It
went.
was more than 10 years ago, that.
That was
Yeah.
more than 10. That was like the start, I think, of things. And we went on a ghost hunt, and we decided it was Halloween. It was bang on Halloween, and so we decided to dress up, and we decided to put makeup on, and like blood dripping down our face, and bruises all over our face. And we got there, and we sat down, obviously, because they have to brief you, don't they, when you're doing a ghost hunt, of the safety and all that, and what we're going to do that night. And we entered, and we just got all of these stares at us, and people weren't very happy with our attire, were they?
It was Halloween.
They were just looking at us as if they were like, "Are you taking the mick?" And we
Is
were
that-
like,
have you had anything to
"Hi!"
drink? No.
And then for the entire 4 hours or whatever it was, we had to walk around with makeup on our face. And everybody was really, really serious. Wasn't Wendy?
It was, and I remember one of the things that happened at that place. It was at Tatton Hall, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we were sitting around
we
the
were
fire.
sitting in a room, and it was really serious. And sometimes it can be serious, but we heard this ticking in the room, and we're like, nobody could explain it because there was no clocks in the room, and we're thinking, this is really good. You know, everybody can hear it, and it's ticking away. And so we start going around the room listening to people. And we ended up on this one old lady sitting there. She
Looks a bit like Mama Bear.
anyway, she's sitting there, and we were like, "It's you. Well, have you got a watch on?" She said,
No. None of us knew it was her. And she was dead quiet. She just didn't speak. And then we went away, and we
That
did a
was
bit
right.
of ghost hunting. And then it was our group, because we were split into a couple of groups. And then we came back, and we sat down, and we called out again. And then at the end of that calling out, we still all heard the ticking. And she said, "I've got a confession."
"Oh, that was right."
Yeah, and then we all felt really, really bad. Then she said, "I've got a confession,
She's
guys."
been cheating. That's what we thought.
She said, "I've got a pacemaker."
Oh.
So then the game changed for everybody on the ghost hunt, because then we were trying to not make her scared.
Nobody
Because
wanted
nobody
to kill her.
wanted the ticking noise to stop. At the barn. And we made her scared, and she jumped out. Back at we
I
were
can vaguely remember it because that night was good. But then at the end of the night, there was a bit of cheating going on.
There was a little bit
and
of
so
cheating
then that
from
stuck in
the
my
actual-
mind,
yeah.
you know, because then the memories of what
The
was
memories
good
go then.
was gone, and it was a
Yeah.
cheating. Oh, you bugger, why
But
did you do
it
that?
wasn't the guests that were cheating. The guests were all, really, really into it.
Yeah.
It was the people who were doing the ghost hunt, and we saw them throwing a few rocks downstairs, and we were like, oh no.
So
ruined
I
it.
grabbed a bigger
So
rock
we were-
and threw it as well. No, I'm only joking.
And so we were a little bit put off then, and I think we didn't go on anymore, did we, for a while?
I
We were
can't
like,
remember quite. To be honest, I can't remember because we've been
You can't
on a
remember
few,
10
haven't
years
we?
ago.
It's a long time ago.
I can't even remember yesterday, so don't worry about it.
Checking Bear's message like, today. Is it today? I was like, oh, it's Monday, isn't it? Blue?
I thought
Blue?
the interview was Tuesday, so you know what? I'd be no.
So that was your first experience. So where do you sit in regards to your belief system in regards to the paranormal? Where do you sit? Do you believe in it, or are you very skeptical?
I'm skeptical, and I believe stuff when I see it, and I've seen a few things that I think, oh yeah, that's not explainable, but like I like to be skeptical as well. We do a show called Paranormal Showcase where we see a lot of people's footage, and we sit on the fence on it. But sometimes you see some of it and you know that it's definitely not. It can't be what it looks like. You know, it might be leaves in a tree and stuff like that. So, but it's I like to see the evidence with my own eyes, but I do believe it's there. But I'm not too sure on the dark stuff too much, you know, because we've been to a lot of places,
Yeah.
and if there was big demons, I think we'd all know about it by now.
I think I follow Sean on that respect. I mean, I believe what I've seen, but I'm still seeking to see if there's an afterlife. I'm always, is there an afterlife? That's my sort of biggest goal in doing the paranormal and doing all these shows, is to see if there is, if we do go on. And we've had our fair few experiences. It's just, I still like to sit on that fence. I still like to be like, right, but what if that was a radiator clicking? What if, that was pareidolia? It's always in my head. There's a big question mark all the time, because I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to be a full-on believer. It's just that I like to question a lot of things that happen.
Well, aliens are real. That's for sure.
Oh, of course they are. Of course they are. Yeah.
So even with your association with Bear, and Bear working so closely with Spirit, has that not confirmed or validated things for you?
So she's just a pain in the backside, man.
No, that definitely validates a lot for us, because when we speak to Bear, it'll be stuff that we've been speaking about that day, and we've made up.
Which we always talk about, that story where.
That's what I mean. When we first started working with Bear, wasn't it? It was those early days of me and you and Bear.
We were brewing up a Pluto deal in America, which is launched on Pluto, the Ghost Dimension show, over there as well as the UK. But nobody knew it, and Bear said to us, "Hey, my guys, how are you getting on with our American deal?" After speaking to her, we were like, "How does she know that?" And so that was when we were like, to be honest, like, Bear's one of the most authentic and real medium psychic people that we've worked with. And we've worked with a lot. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so Bear will think that when Bear says something that you think, where's that come from? She doesn't say it to you, says, "Oh, I got this thing coming to me, blah, blah, blah." She just says, she'll say it as a conversation, and you're like, we haven't talked about that, so you shouldn't be having a conversation about it, because you shouldn't know.
Yeah.
So
she only just did it recently as well, but you can't say what she said to us. But we were like, we were driving back from somewhere, and we were like, oh my God, Bear said that, and then it happened. It's the things that Bear says to us, and you're like, she can't possibly know.
And she doesn't have
information.
She does not. Do you know what? We work hard, but Bear works down hard as well. She's very, very good. So she's. I
don't think she wants to be associated with us, though.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a bit like too late now.
Like
kids now, too late.
It's like watching some of your shows, and you do appear to be on a lot. I mean, and how much sort of work or how much of your week is actually taken up with this? Or is it...
7 days a week.
Yeah,
don't stop. Yeah.
So, because people only see the hour show in the day, hour show in the evening, and then obviously one at the weekends. But it doesn't stop. So, like, the social media doesn't stop, the editing doesn't stop, or we're out filming, because we started filming the lockdown series. So we started doing that, and people will never understand how long it takes to edit, but that's there as well. So it doesn't stop at all, does it?
It used to, before COVID, it used to make us laugh, because we'd put an episode out and it'd be a full packed episode where there'd be so much involved in making that episode. And then when it would go out, people would message after that's gone out saying, "When's the next one out?" And we're like, we don't even edit it at all. Yeah, just laugh how people think it's just so quick.
But it's good fun, though, doing it.
Yeah, we wouldn't do it if we didn't have fun.
Well, this is it, and you've been doing this for quite a while before you joined forces with Bear for a while. What was the first episode you put out? Can you remember?
Bolton Sea Cadets of Ghost Dimension. Yeah.
Ghost Dimension.
Yeah, Bolton Sea Cadets. Before that, it was Past on Us, and it was something.
It was, I think it was one of 4, wasn't it? I know there was a.
It was one of them. Yeah, it was a crappy one. Anyway, it was rubbish. It could have been Southport Spiritual. I mean, I don't say the place wasn't rubbish, but the editing was.
We were rubbish.
Yeah, we were rubbish. It wasn't. None of the content was. The investigation was good, but it was when we look back at it, obviously you involved stuff, and we look at the quality of it. We're like, could have done a bit better there.
But they were never meant to be for TV.
Yeah.
I must admit, I did actually watch the Sea Cadet one. It was on Channel 5, I think, on My 5.
Oh, right.
Channels, and it looked an amazing location.
Yeah, it's
It was a
fantastic.
good place, yeah.
So active, and it was quite funny watching you in the early series because things happen and you'd run away, and it's actually
He's
it was
still, what are you talking about? He still runs away.
We just edit that out.
He hides behind me. He hides
I'd
behind
absolutely, I see that. He was like something happened. I think it might have been using a bar or something,
Yeah.
and like a noise went off, and Sean instantly just grabbed Bex and hid behind her.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
No, we do.
That's Sean.
That's me. We edit that out now. It's all hidden. It's all magic matters.
It's all hidden because Sean doesn't want people seeing how scared he is.
I just edit me into it now. I'm not even there.
So do you do the editing yourself, Sean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You do it all yourselves?
All ourselves, yeah. But with Beck sits there and tells me what I should be doing wrong and right. And
No, I say you should be doing this
I just
because
ignore
that's
her.
not factually correct. And he goes, fine.
I like the look of
Fine.
it. It looks good.
I like
and
the
I want
look
to
of
put
it. And I'm like,
in.
but it's not factually correct.
It doesn't sound like
Fine.
that aeroplane. Yeah, but it's a good
That's
one,
what I'm
isn't
saying.
it?
That's what I'm saying.
That's not a Junker's bomber.
No, I didn't say that. Correction. I said there was no air raid.
Oh, air raid siren
no
in New
air
Mills. I
raid.
said, I don't care, man. It sounds good. It
We
sounds
just,
good.
we just done an episode from New Mills and there was no air raid and they just dropped 2 bombs on New Mills and nobody had any warning to get to any safety, so there was a lot of deaths. And I said to Sean, there was no air raid. Why have you put that in there? It sounds good. Sets
The
scene.
air raid did
So-
set the scene.
So in my head, I'm like, I need to be factually correct.
I'm psychologically putting the people there, man.
So
I
we
know.
have 2 sides here then, don't we? We have somebody who like does a bit of research and knows the facts, and then we have the sensationalism of Sean here. You're not adverse to a bit of sensationalism, are you?
I never research a place because I'd love to, but I can't be bothered to because when I get there, I want to know. I want a fresh mind on it,
No,
and I
we
don't
ne-
want to be influenced by it.
Both of us never research the location before we go in because I like to see what I sense. So I like to put my feelings
Because
out and stuff.
we went to Chillingham and
But after the event, then I'll come back, and if I've got the time, I will sit and do lots of research, and if not, I will get one of the group to do it.
we went to Chillingham Castle at weekend, and we arrived, and I guess did you research it before?
were like, no.
Did you research it before you arrived? I'm like, no, not checked anything. And they looked at us like, you should have.
Yeah, they just
But,
sort of looked at us with their mouths open.
Because because now we know there's a blue boy. I think it was right, isn't it? A blue
Yes.
boy that's there, maybe a lady in white and stuff like that.
And
But
there
if we'd
was a
have
little
known
girl
that,
as well, wasn't there?
yeah, if we would have known that, we would have been looking for that spirit.
Yes, exactly.
And then anything that would have looked blue, we would have gone, that was a blue boy. You know what I
It's
mean?
amazing
But if
what
we
the
would have
mind
caught
tells you, isn't
if we would
it?
have caught it, yeah.
Yeah.
And did you two ever find out and what was knocking on the door? Because I was watching it earlier and you were having a few raps on the door behind you.
Oh,
Did
in
you-
the castle.
Well, that was interesting because, like Sean said, we didn't know what was in the castle at all before we went. Didn't know any of the history or any of the history of the ghosts. And then when we went live, there was a banging on that door behind me. So I vocalised it. And then I think later on, I heard like a child's voice to the left of me. So I said that. And then one of our party, said, oh, actually, there is a child, a little girl. She's called Eleanor. And so I think it may have been her on the door, sort of telling us that she was there.
You two, be quiet.
Exactly.
Something like that.
This
Sleep
is my
down
house.
Turn that fire off. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a hot fire, that
That
was.
was a lovely
I had a lovely
fire.
big fireplace behind us, and do you want us to light it? And you can sit there. We're like, yeah, that
We're
was a
like,
great
yeah.
idea. And then we sat there going, geez, this is hot, isn't it?
Well, I enjoyed it. I get cold easily, so I enjoyed it.
Sweating it out in front of the fire.
Especially so it was set on fire. Yeah,
I did think it was going to spit out at us.
But that was a nice place to go to, and we'll go back there.
I think we're going to go back and we're going to do a follow-up show.
Now we know the history, we'll go and cheat and say, oh my God, did you see that blue ghost over there?
Hashtag it's a demon.
But now we do know the history, we can seek out those
We can seek
spirits
it
and
out.
see if they come towards us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely will be doing a follow-up show of Chillingham, but we've not even edited it yet.
So, and let me just say, though, about that castle, I mean, I was dubious when we arrived because we didn't know anything about it. And then we got there early and we managed to speak to a chap there who was in one of the rooms and telling us the history, and he said,
Yeah.
"Oh, it was empty 50 years ago."
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, "Oh my God!"
It was like a historian.
You know, and straight away we were thinking, "Well, what's going on there?" And then because it just looked like a load of junk in the room, so we're like, and then he
it's
said,
artifacts.
"It's not from the castle; it's from other places." We're like,
They
I
were
know about
brought in.
haunted objects, but I can't imagine all of these to be haunted. And so we were skeptical.
We were very skeptical.
We thought,
That's
we
at
just
the top,
landed a nut here. This isn't going to work, this one, because we like to, you know, we could have gone in and go, "Oh, look at all these artifacts. Look at this castle, glorious, beautiful," and winged it that way. But we thought, no, you know, we've arrived and we're thinking this isn't going to be good because this was an empty castle.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to do it an injustice.
And apparently, it's the most haunted castle in the UK.
It is, yeah.
So how do you actually acquire the locations you go to? Is it just stuff you know about, or stuff that's generally out there on the paranormal circuit, or do places approach you guys?
A lot of people that we know out there approach us and say, "Guys, you need to check this out." And there's quite a few good eggs, isn't there, that go, "Right, I've got you this location. It's amazing. You're going to go this day. Are you free?" And we're like, "Yes." And they're like, "Right, you can go and you get the whole location." We love those locations, don't we?
And we try and find some as well, like
but
where
we
people haven't
do
been. We try to go where people haven't been. I know lots of people have been to Chile, but we got invited, so we thought we'd go. But like last week, we investigated
the caves,
Crank Caves in St. Helens. And we couldn't find that on the map as anything. If you Googled caves nearby, we couldn't find it.
No.
And just by chance, we came across this information about these caves, and it's got a really dark past now. We've seen, haven't we? Nobody's been there, as far as I know, to do a show. But we went to Rekia in the daytime, and it was crazy, wasn't it?
It was proper creepy.
It was very active, and it's those sort of places that we like to go to.
Yeah,
where,
things that have not been investigated. I mean, we live in a cemetery, and that's not really highly investigated. And so when we do go out and do it, we get some fantastic evidence.
And every week, Bear makes us go back into that cemetery.
She does. She makes us go and visit Rachel's grave.
Go back in that cemetery. Take your SLS camera.
So just to clarify, your house is in a cemetery.
Yes, it is. It's in the cemetery, and at night time, the gates get closed on the cemetery and lock us in.
Lock us in. We have to get locked in, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Wow.
Just in case you escape.
Yeah,
that's like the perfect location for a paranormal investigator, isn't it?
What was that again?
It's like it's a perfect location to live for a paranormal investigator.
Yeah,
it is, but
really
it's not as active. It's active, but not. There's not thousands of spirits walking into the house or anything like that. We get activity, but I think because it's a place of where they just get buried and rest. If you're a ghost or a spirit, you want to be at home, wouldn't you?
And there's a lot of times when there is a funeral, because we've got CCTV, so we can see the cars coming in, the funeral cars. There's a lot of time when the funerals do happen and they get buried. The spirit passes through the house, and then you'll notice the doors opening and the bangs and the walking and stuff. But it literally does just pass through, and then it stops. Sometimes it stays.
It stays.
Sometimes it stays.
So it's still an active burial cemetery.
We went to the shops the other day, came back, we were unloading the shopping, and somebody was wheeling the car past the back of the car. I was like,
Oh, God. And you've got children as well. How do your children deal with that? They just accept it, do they?
I think it's normal now for them. I mean, we moved into this house when Izzy was only 3, so she's just sort of grown up with it. And obviously they've got lots of friends outside of the church and the cemetery, so they sort of go off there and become normal again. But no, they've grown up with it, so they don't really bat an eyelid.
So it is a standalone cemetery. There's not a church attached to it.
There's a church,
but it's not active. Yeah, I think it closed its doors in 1996. That was its last.
Every now and again it gets broken into, and you can go and have a look inside. You know, somebody will take the screws out the door and stuff. So you're like, ooh, you know. But when you go in, it's the floor's very rotten. There's loads of pigeon poo everywhere. And it's nice inside, isn't it?
It is nice. It's really nice to look at. It's a shame that it's not active, to be honest.
So I want to bring Bear in at this point because there is a thing, isn't there, about spirits haunting. Why would they haunt a cemetery? What's your take on it from a spiritual perspective, Bear?
Well, my take on it.
Well, I might want to add too that Bex, my daughter, who I love the most, is also a medium. Even though she says "zip it, bear," "zip it, bear," she doesn't use it the same way I do. But spirits in the cemetery, I believe, they're there, especially the ones like the grave they were talking about. That just fascinates me. What's her name?
Rachel.
Rachel, yeah. I believe because it's been so long, they often go back because they're used to people visiting there, number one. Number two, from a spiritual aspect, some of them don't even realize they're gone. They're like in a different dimension. And when I talk to spirit, they are in a different dimension. It coexists with us. So it's like sometimes they go about their day. And then also the fact that cemeteries, obviously back in like, say, the 1700s, 1800s, they weren't as large as they are now. So you have added spirits to them. So there's people walking around there that may have had homes there, or it was a walk through the park to get to the stores or, you know, the shops, whatever. So I don't believe that all of them are spirits that are buried there. Although the children, I think, are very active in that cemetery. And they follow Sean and Bex because they have kids. So, you know, I just think it's like a place that sometimes they touch down to because that is the last place they were at.
And all the family would have been together at the last place.
Correct.
Most families are fragmented, aren't they, on a day-to-day basis? And you come together for high days, holidays and funerals and christenings kind of scenario. So that was the last place that all the family would have been together. So, yeah, I can understand that. Fascinating. Place to live, I would say.
Sounds fun, yeah.
I bet people are dying to get in there.
They are.
They're dying to get in there. That's bad. That's bad.
That was very naughty.
Showing your age. Showing your age.
Sorry, I had to get that one in.
Oh, that's
It's been
easy.
brewing for quite a while.
So when you do your events, I take it you don't go out into the cemetery very often, or do you do that every night? I mean, you could, couldn't you? You could be out there every night with your SLS cameras and your K2s and God knows what else. So when you do events, is it just the two of you, or do you take people with you like an events company, or is it just generally you and a couple of friends?
Oh, when we do events, it's just when we go out in the cemetery, it's like once a week if we go there or
On
we'll
a
go somewhere
Wednesday.
else. And it's just me and Bex.
Yeah. We've
We
only just started
we
doing
put one
events,
event on.
yeah.
We put one event on in October, and we've invited some of the people off YouTube that watch us on YouTube. So they're coming, and we're just dipping our toe with that, and that seems quite positive. But like this week, isn't it now? That's Wednesday. So this Wednesday, we're going out this week to investigate the caves.
Yeah.
It was a bit dark and it felt weird last week and dangerous. So we
It
thought
did.
we want to go
Just
back
the
and
two
do a
of
live there, but we're just going to take some more people and take the. We've got this ugly doll that Bear sent us from the States called Bobby, so we're going to take that as well, and sit him in the cave on his own and see if anything happens.
We used to do
Leave
events.
him there, would you?
Oh yeah.
Just leave him there or kick him down a hole. Okay?
What is it with this Bobby? I've seen this Bobby being bought on and off. Bear, what is it with this Bobby? Tell me about Bobby.
Well, have you ever heard of Robert the Doll?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Robert the Doll is housed in Key West now, and you know the story, the little boy that owned it, and it was kind of said to be possessed. And people go to see this doll, you know, you have to ask it permission. There's all this lore around it, but it gives this really creepy vibe. So a friend of mine worked at this place that houses him, and they had all these dolls made to sell, and they would sit next to Bobby, or Robert. Bobby, I'm calling him Bobby because it's so Robert the Doll. They put them all like around the case that he had. So she got some of these dolls, and she said, they're kind of creepy. She says, I'm going to send one to you. I go, oh, okay. And then I got it. And my daughter was here at the house, and my daughter was like, don't you dare open it or bring it in the house. I go, yeah, it does even feel creepy through the box, eh? And she's like, oh, my gosh, Mom, just send it to Sean and Bex. I'm like, okay. So I sent it over there with the intent of it going somewhere, and it attached itself to Sean. And now Sean calls it Bobby Jr. And the thing just creeps me out. I just don't like it. Just don't like it.
Okay, so
Show
then
him, Sean.
Yeah, okay, we've got them on camera.
On radio, you can't see
you
it.
Can't see Bobby, but you can if you go over to Ghost Dimensions.
Ready? That's Bobby.
That's not Bobby. If you go over to Ghost Dimensions, you'll be able to see what we're talking about here. Okay, so it's attached itself to you, Sean. Is that because you're just a big kid at heart, or do you actually get a feeling from him?
No, I don't get a feeling from him. I just think that he just doesn't want to go and live at Paul's house, and he wants to live here.
He's just creepy. None of the people in the family, either the GD family that watch it, there's quite a few of them that think he's creepy too. And Sean just loves to harass me with it, so that plays well too.
I like to remind you, Bear, where it comes from.
Oh, God, so you take him out on investigations and stuff with you?
No, never took him out.
You've never took him out, and you've not had any activity in the house with him or anything like that.
I must say, when Sean, because I knew Bear was sending it to us, and I said to Bear, "Is it okay? We just give it straight to Paul." She says, "Yeah, that's what it's meant to be." So I said to Sean, "Give it straight to Paul. Don't even open the box. Just give it straight to Paul."
Open the box.
And then Paul didn't come up for a while, so Sean opened the box, obviously. And then when he took him out, I did notice the activity go up. It did increase in the house when he took him out of the box.
You're a very naughty boy, Bobby.
I'm still waiting to give him to Paul, but then obviously
he's not going to Paul. He lives here now.
He doesn't.
He lives next to the computer.
He doesn't. He's still waiting to go on his travels.
He is not going anywhere. He's going to live next to the devil cards and keep.
Yep. See, attached himself to Sean. That's what they do. I'm not a fan of dolls. Oh yeah, I'm not a fan of dolls. I consider them soul catchers, and that one I just don't like.
Which one's that? They're not Bobby. I thought you meant the one we took the eyes out of. No.
Oh, that one's pretty creepy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's just a device now. You know what I mean? It's just it took its eyes out, stuck an aerial inside of it, and made it into an EMF meter. Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
As you do, yeah.
It was to attract the crazy spirits towards it.
Yeah.
Have you had any sort of luck with the sort of using dolls and stuff in your investigations? I know they're quite popular out there in the paranormal community,
We have, to be honest. There was I think it was just before lockdown, and it was the Orangery in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And we took the doll that Sean had
Our
just
dolls
modified.
just for purposes are not haunted.
No, we just got them out of a charity shop, and so Sean could work on them. But Sean had just modified this doll with the blue LEDs in her head, in her eyes, and then we propped her up, and then there's a big long orangery. So we set up some stuff and set up some lock-offs, and the eyes actually did go off, didn't they? And then the REM pod behind went off, and
caught something going through the trigger beam.
So the doll actually worked.
It did, and I think it's only because it's interesting if you're a spirit and you're looking at this item that's there, probably would have been played with in them days as well. And it's like, because now kids have got Xboxes and PlayStations or whatever. I suppose in about 20 years we'll have to take them on investigations and put them on the floor.
Xbox to make it a massive REM pod.
Come near the iPad.
Yeah. You know what you're doing with it.
I really can.
Yeah. We're saying, don't take your phones and stuff. Like you say, in future, we're going to be saying, do take your phones, because they're going to be like the new gadgets of the paranormal, aren't they? Do you have a favourite gadget that you use?
I like the singing bowl.
Yeah.
I really do like the singing bowl, and I just like to use me as well to see what I pick up on. You've got more of a.
I've been buying some
Yeah.
gadgets, and I like the portal at the minute, but it can be quite annoying because if it takes a while to get going, and I know if we do a live, it can take a while to get into. It just farts a lot, and it just like that all the time. But, right, windy
You
spirit.
sure it's not just you?
Do it without nobody knowing. But,
Clarifying the whole time, it's not a fart, it is the portal.
I do like taking that, and that at the moment I've got an SLS, and those things are so easy to build when you take them apart. You know what I mean?
And
So we've got that, but they're heavy to carry around.
for a
Aren't they?
while back there, Sean used to make our own devices. I mean, we made a device called the iDevice. And that's nobody else can get that because we just made it, and that is actually
That's
one of
a
our
really good
favourite
device,
pieces
yeah.
of equipment because it's so active.
And a laser beam trigger.
The
So
laser beam
we
trigger.
made a laser beam. So you fire the beam to the receiver, and if you walk through the beam, it lights the LEDs up and sets an alarm off, and it stops as soon as you stop walking through the beam, and that's good. That's really good, isn't it? It's
I
cool.
suppose if you're making equipment, you're investing a bit of yourself in it as well, and you know, and perhaps that sort of can trigger an activity in itself.
Yeah. It could do. Yeah, it could do. Have you made any equipment?
Me, no.
You can barely
And
use
the
a
guys will tell you
computer.
about my. Pardon?
I said, you can barely use your computer, let alone make a kit.
You're lucky he's on Skype.
I was invited.
You've seen the problems that we've had just getting Paul on, let alone.
Spirits, that was.
We'll rename him Paul the Diva. Right, great.
Well, we was trying out a phone app. This is the story for Richard. He was trying out a phone app because we were interviewing Brian Holloway, who develops the phone apps. Anyway, he's gone out into the field, got this phone app, and he goes, all I can get is this Gregorian chant. And me and Paul were like, what? And he's been trying to go at this, and it was fine, and we weren't getting that. And he hadn't turned it on properly.
Oh!
So all it got was the intro. Of the app.
And there's me standing in the middle of a battlefield, sort of going, anybody there? Come forward. Is that you singing? It was quite nice music, very atmospheric.
Yeah. Oh, I would have loved to see that.
Honestly, you should have seen our faces when he was talking about it. We were like, what were you doing? So talking about phone apps, do you use them? Have you tried any phone apps?
I haven't got one on my phone, but you have, haven't
I
you?
have, and I can't remember the name of it. Bear, you've got it on yours, haven't you? And I can't remember the name of it. Something.
I want to say it says it's the Ghost Toolkit or something like that. It's
something
got
like
a hand on it.
Yeah, it's blue.
What
I
do
think
What
pretty
do you think of it?
It's well, actually I started doing some stuff on this end when they would go out and be like in the cemetery or over by the chapel in the cemetery.
Yeah.
I would turn it on, and some of the other people as well that were watching at the time in the group on YouTube were getting things that were coherent to what Sean and Bex were doing. And it's not accurate all the time, but I have not used it since I asked it some questions, and it came back with stuff that was so spot on. It was about somebody that passed, and they said how they passed and just more information. And I was like, yeah, that's enough. So I kind of put it down because it kind of freaked me out a little bit. So, we've been doing that a lot, and a lot of people in group have been using it. I'm skeptical about it, but then when stuff like that happens, it's kind of bizarre.
So how does this work? Because you've got, Sean and Bex obviously in the UK, and you've got yourself over in America. When they're working and out in the field, do you tune in to that as well? Because you're very involved in the whole Ghost Dimension family, aren't you? So do you tune in? Do you give them like tidbits of what you're getting when they're out?
I do if it's really super strong, and I've actually used the K2 where I've set the K2 down on a table, and when they get activity, my K2 goes off, which I can't really explain because it's not bioelectrical stuff, and I've tried it other times and it doesn't do anything. Like I've put it on the screen and I'll watch it over and it won't go off. So it's kind of interesting. And the way I look at it is spirit is in another dimension that circles kind of around us. And they don't have bodies, physical bodies like we do. So it's kind of like spirit reacting to what's going on. So doing what I do, yeah, I'm skeptical sometimes, but then again, I tune in and usually Bex is spot on when she's out in the field. Again, because she tunes into stuff, even though she's not a medium. Yeah. Just thinking. But yeah, I can tune into it. You don't have to be. Well, I've done a reading for you, Carrie.
Yeah, you have.
And I mean, it doesn't matter where we are. If you're tuned into that other spiritual realm, you get stuff.
Yeah.
I can't explain how it works. It's my truth, it's what I do. So I can't explain it. It just is,
It's just an energy connection, isn't it, between people, regardless of where you're located, because you've got that connection, whether or not that's by Skype, because we've done readings for each other, Bear, and, stuff like that. And I'm connected to you, although I've never met you in the physical. I'm still connected to you energetically because I talk to you and we're friends and we know each other. And you've got that energy connection there. And that's really where I see it. It's just, like you said about your bubble, you're connected to Sean and Bex because you're so close to them. Of course you're going to be linked if they're working, particularly if you've got a latent medium on the investigation team, Bex, you know what I mean? She's saying nothing. I
will say I can tell the difference, like when, for instance, one of the episodes they did when they went out, Sean was in the cemetery and he was by the chapel and there's a children's section there. And I could see like all the children running up to him and trying to communicate with him because they were excited he was there, like a dad, right? Mm-hmm. And then I've had times where I felt kind of like ooky when they've been around something. It's like, yeah, you guys really, I feel something and it's not really good. But I know they do protection and stuff, and we're definitely connected. And if you hear the bird in the background, Pip's excited too. Sorry about that.
So guys, have you been, do you feel that you're more connected now spiritually than you were when you first started through working with Bear?
I definitely feel like there's a change. I must admit, when we started out in the field and we did start doing past hunters and stuff, and we didn't really know what we were looking for, and we were really green in the field. But then as we started doing the episodes and they went on and you started communicating and reaching out to these spirits in each location, you come back home and you were more aware of what was around you, what you surrounded, so you could pick up on easily. Like I used to go into the supermarket and I used to hear like radio static in my ears, and I was thinking, what the hell is that? And then you can sense things from people, and then as it's gone on, and now we're in ghost dimension, it's just so hyper and it's just so active. The things that you feel. I mean, like Bear said, medium. I'm not a medium, and I'll always say I'm not a medium, but I believe that everybody's got a sixth sense, and whether you use it or you don't, I just like to go out, and that's why I don't like to do any research of a place. I like to go out and I like to just feel, basically see what comes into me. I was always told, whatever comes into your mind, say it. So I always say it when the cameras are rolling, just so it's recorded, basically, and then we can go back and look at the history and see if it's connected and it coincides with everything. But since meeting Bear, things have taken a different turn as well. That's heightened me, I suppose, even more. What about you?
Well, she always connects with me, and the way she connects with me...
Because she's his mama.
As my mama, but she messages me a lot on WhatsApp and Messenger.
Stop being stupid and answer the question.
Of course, yeah, she connects with me because she's a pain in the backside, and every time I'm doing something, she's like, "Hey, oh my God, will you stop doing that like that?" No, I do. I connect with Bear as well, and because we have this thing where she knows stuff that's happening that we do, and it's weird, and I can only presume that's given off by our energy that's psychically sent possibly around the world over to Michigan in the lake, and I think that's where it could be. But she does. I mean, and then I don't know if she texts me anymore, but she does. She WhatsApps me and she just never phones me and answers my calls.
Probably blocks you.
Fire.
Have you three ever actually met? Or has it always been like this?
It's
just like this.
We were going to go to America this year, and we were going to tour America, and then obviously we would have said, like, we'll meet up with Bear.
But the COVID came in.
COVID came in, and we were like, oh my God, we can't meet you, Mama Bear. So it's definitely on the cards.
Because it was quite high in Michigan. I said to Bex, we're not going over there because she might have COVID. And if she gives it to us, we're dead. You know what I mean? I'm only joking. But
Bex would leave Sean, they'd never find him again.
Exactly. Sean would be a
big lake.
Cemetery.
And
big lake down on the other end. I have cement bricks, and Bex would be like, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I love them. And tell them the real reason I messaged you, Sean. You need to update this and don't forget about that. You might want to try this or that. Yeah, no. Because I love them. They're my kids. I can't explain it. It doesn't matter that we haven't met in person because we know each other. I love the kids, my little grands. I love them. I talk to them as well. And, I support these guys because they do their work with integrity and they're real and they're family. And I just consider them family. And, they could ask me whatever. And if it was in my power to do it, I'd do it.
We do. You know what? We do actually go to Bear for a lot and a lot of advice, not spiritual or anything like that. Just like, Bear, what do we do here? We got this big problem. What do we do? She tells us straight. She's like, well, you need to do that. You just need to tell them.
She does.
So it's a different relationship as well. It's not just work.
Yeah.
No, she's amazing. Oh, hello. I've got an echo now.
Only on your side. It's not on ours.
Oh, that's all right. I don't know why that happened.
Probably Sean. You got your keyboard on. Echo.
No, is he playing with his buttons over there?
Hey?
You're playing with your buttons.
Playing with my buttons.
Echo.
Oh, dear.
So how did this come about? How did this come about, this relationship you've got with Bear?
She just mibed us until we said hello to her, and then we couldn't ship her off. And so if you'd like to buy her, I will auction her.
You auction your own mother?
Damn right I will.
Oh, God.
I can't remember. Honestly, memory like a fish. Can you remember?
I do remember the first time I knew about Bear, because I loved her name as well. And Sean said, Bear's sending us some medicine bags. Is that right, Bear? Is that what they're called?
I saw you guys before that, but I said I made medicine pouches.
You can't remember either.
No, I can't. But
she can't remember, Bear.
That's my first.
Can't remember.
Yeah, but that's my first clear sort of meeting and sort
I
of.
remember, Bear. I came to your house for tea in Michigan, spiritually, and I was like, "Oh my God, Bear, you gotta come over here."
I remember you sending them to me, and I had one, and the girls had one, and Sean had one, and Jane and Paul, and I put mine in my car. So every time I drive my car now, I think of Bear.
Yeah. But the beauty is, because we can't remember, means it was really, really good. Because it means it was existing before.
I don't remember. I don't remember either. I don't remember a time that I didn't talk to you because, even my daughter, Taylor, she's like, I'm so glad you got those guys. And they, if they're here, we always make sure that Taylor sees them for a few seconds while she's here and David.
And,
they're just like big kid. They're like her big brother and sister. So I don't know. It's just always like feels like it's always been that way.
That's
Yeah,
it. That's
the
it. It
main
feels so
thing.
natural, and we can say anything in front of each other. It does feel like it's
Yeah.
always been there.
And
There's
now
never...
she Skypes us, and we see her walking around our house naked and all sorts.
Yeah,
Too much.
I know. It's just, yeah.
You know what? One time when we went on live, and Burr was at the bottom of our screen, and Sean goes, "Come here, quick, come
Look,
here."
she's
And I said, "Look,
sleeping.
what?" He goes, "Look," and he put up Burr on big screen. We weren't live. We put her on big screen. She was asleep on a bed, and he was going to do the air horn. I said, "Don't you dare!" And he didn't. And then she woke up when the show went live, and I felt really shady because she was asleep.
I couldn't help that. We had to play the music, but I knew, so I put it on extra loud just for Bear, just to make sure she was there.
So basically, he was watching you sleep, Mama Bear.
Spying on you like.
It's like, oh, do. Sitting there watching her.
I mean, what I did really, when she wasn't, because she was sleeping and Bex wasn't here, I was going, just to be like the bird.
I can imagine.
And then I was trying to speak to her, go,
I
It's a subliminally messaging.
I didn't hear you. I
I
didn't
was
hear you at all.
subliminally messaging
You
her.
must have needed the sleep, Mama Bear.
I did.
Yeah.
I messaged her and said, "You will wake up when the show comes on."
I think I did.
You were sending me all your money.
Unbelievable, it works.
So we've got this dynamic. Let's put it that way. It's a dynamic, isn't it, between the three of you going on, and that leads you into Ghost Time, which is what you're doing now. And you it's prolific. You're there all the time doing shows, and you're always high energy, Sean. What time do you take your medicine? No, only joking.
Half an hour before the show. Today.
It's gone absolutely bonkers for you. You've got such a huge following, and they're amazing, your followers as well, aren't they?
They're really, really
so
nice.
dedicated.
You know,
They do anything for us. They're
Yeah,
amazing.
they do
And
for
it's
everything.
amazing to see the family grow as well. I mean, there's every single day new people come on and like, oh, there's a new name. Welcome to the family. It is absolutely beautiful to see.
And when we see the newbies coming on, we don't want to make them feel like an outcast straight away. So we try and give them as much attention as we would give to anybody else that's been in the family for a week, a month, or 2 months, whatever it is. So we try and do that to everybody that comes in. And everybody that's in that family of Ghost Dimension, whether or not they come and join the channel or they just subscribe or just watch the shows, they're all got different personalities, and maybe some people have may also not be happy in life and stuff. So for them, it's a break of their day as well, just to come out. And we see a lot of it. Like for last night, for example, we jumped up on, there was one of the viewers come on. She said, "Will you come and watch me sing tonight on Facebook?" So we said, "Yeah, we'll go over and sing." So we're not singing, we'll come and watch you sing. And we did. And when she was so made up that we went there, and she started crying when she was singing and stuff because she was so happy. And for us, it was only going to take a couple of minutes just to go and watch her. And for her, that made all the difference. And we like to do all that just to...
it's the little things, isn't it, that make somebody's day or something. And I think that's why we did these lives, because obviously lockdown, it got tough for a while, and people were... It wasn't great out there, and people's minds were going round and round and round. So we say, we'll start these lives.
Break up the
ever
day.
since we've done the lives, we've got messages of people saying, you don't realise how much you've changed my life, and I wait for the live because you just make me smile. I think that's why we're so high energy as well, because we know
we're making people happy.
Making people happy out there. Yeah, we might be annoying, but we make people smile.
No, we worry every day that we might bore people with the same show.
I know.
And we're like, hey, because we got the same show 7 days a week. Somebody said the other day, they said, so what do you talk about in your lives? Do you pre-plan it before you go live? We said, no. So what are you going to talk about in an hour? I said, no idea. We'll see what happens. Because obviously in the daytime, it's like 3:30 or 4, whatever we do the show now.
Talk about anything.
We talk about anything. Even in the evenings, a different format depending on what we've scheduled in. Maybe the investigation or showcase. We'll showcase other people's work, stuff like that. And Bear comes on a Tuesday and does the stuff that Bear does, readings and cards. And we try to break it up completely like that and just dip in. And we do. But when people say, what do? We just got no idea. It just comes out of the mouth. And,
I think we let them take the
yeah.
lead as well. I mean, there's a lot of
become
people,
a family
lot
chat.
of people that talk about food and stuff. So we just
We talk about
and then-
poo a lot.
and
Yeah,
then-
you do.
I noticed that.
we just talk about what's happening in life, really. That's all, and in our life as well. And then everybody else says, "Oh, this happened." So it's just basically a get together, a nice get together to make people smile.
It is.
I
It's
think
just.
it's
It's just like a
interesting,
family,
too.
though, isn't it? Where you've got that general chat and that. Oh, hi, how are you doing? And you're on the board, and and all that side of it. But then the background of that is the paranormal focus, where you go out and you do an investigation. So you kind of come on. You do a bit of like, hi everybody, we're going to go out to, we're going to go out into the graveyard tonight and the cemetery tonight, or we're going to go to Chillingham Castle, and you carry that on. So you sort of like, all the excitement. It's almost like you live the investigation because you've got the excitement before.
Yeah.
Even though you're not with you, they are with you because you've done the bit before, which we would normally get as a team in the car and stuff like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I think that's what it is. And so when you first start watching it is totally bonkers. I'm not going to lie. It's so high energy, you're exhausted. By the end of it, you think, God, how can they get out and now investigate? God, I'm absolutely exhausted. But we talk about going out on an investigation and having that high energy level, don't we?
Exactly. Yeah.
We do, yeah.
That helps helps spirit to connect.
And the happiness as well. Well, we've noticed throughout doing the investigations from years and years back, we've noticed that if you're angry or if you're straight-laced and you just a little bit what would you call it,
if you're not positive and you go out with a negative mind,
attitude, you're not going to reach many spirits.
You're not
However,
reach
if you smile and you laugh, especially off camera, I know some people like to take it really seriously, so we try not to laugh too much on camera. But when the camera's off and we do smile and we do laugh, and then that's when the spirit activity comes through even more. Because I think the spirit sort of watches us and there and thinks, you know what, these guys are actually okay. And it charges the atmosphere as well.
Exactly. I think you're right there.
You guys are very involved in the paranormal. What do you do away from it? Or is it 24/7 for you? Do you sort of take a break from it?
We do take a break. I think we have to.
We watch trash TV.
Fine.
People say, do you watch Ghost Adventures? Do you watch Ghost Adventures? Do we bugger? No, we watch Below the Deck, and we want to watch Lucifer.
Do you know what? That's it.
What's it called? Orphan Black. Like we'll finish tonight at 9:30 tonight. Probably 10 o'clock by week, because after the live we'll talk to people in the WhatsApp group for half an hour or so, and then we'll dive off and we're going to watch some television. And we're going to chill out and do that. But tonight, maybe it won't be tonight. So later, and then later on this week, for example, we have stuff to do in the evening.
I think you've got to take that downtime, and you've got to do whatever relaxes you. In our case, it's watching telly at night time. But then we've also got 3 small kids and a menagerie of animals that also takes our time up. So there's never a downtime moment at all from night time.
But we did. We did watch. We put on an episode of That Most Haunted on Sunday. Was it Sunday?
Sunday, yeah.
Was it Saturday or Sunday? Whenever we got back from Chillingham.
Sunday night,
to see what that was like compared to what we just experienced, and it was boring. And I said, I can't sit there and watch that again. You know what I mean? It's like it literally was rubbish. And I said, we've skipped Below the Deck to watch this. 25 minutes of my life wasted.
I tell you what, notice it went.
Sorry, Yvette. Sorry, Carl. But it was a very long time ago, and it was rubbish. If you're listening,
you know what? It was poignant, though.
It was rubbish.
It was poignant.
It was not. It was Talking Heads.
Oh my God!
Poignant.
Domestic.
Yeah. Let's sit there and smoke and drink and then it's 5 minutes. That's what it was.
It was poignant to a place where it was poignant because Derek was there.
Derek was in it. That was nice.
Derek's not there anymore, and it's like, wow, this is. I don't know when it was filmed. Was it filmed 2002? I think. I'm not too sure.
Babe. It was rubbish.
No,
we're plugging it. We're plugging rubbish. We are.
The only thing I do want to mention is that.
Don't watch it. You'll waste your life.
The only thing I wanted to mention with that episode is, it did go fast, and you think, what did we see? What did we investigate?
Saw nothing.
But the fact that Derek was there and he was smiling and laughing,
that was nice,
and he was so young, and it was just like, that's the bit where
so
it was
young, and he was full of his energy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was full of that energy that everybody loved.
Yeah.
And so, it was a little bit funny watching that back.
But to be fair, Sean, it was where a lot of people started in the paranormal field watching that programme.
Do you know what? And I always say we have respect for that, because people moan a lot and slag them off, and I don't slag them off, but that episode was rubbish. And people tell me our stuff is rubbish sometimes, and it is. And but I'll agree that that's where a lot of people went out and investigated, and we always give them credit for that, because if they didn't do it, people wouldn't be doing it the way they did it now. Yeah. And on that episode, for example, there was only one thing that stood out to me. It was like they were using an infrared camera, and they were like, look, it's an infrared camera. And I thought to myself, if they didn't bring that on, nobody would be using infrared cameras, right?
Yeah. And talking about most haunted, and you sort of touched upon their detractors now, is that something you come across, and how do you deal with it? Is it just a case of ignoring?
Yeah.
We
don't really get much with Ghost Dimension at all.
We did with past
Stunts.
And we learned from that. We learned from what people wanted. We learned from what people didn't like. And so we grew from that, and so we put it in play in Ghost Dimension. But we were taught, weren't we, at a young age in the paranormal
to ignore the
negatives,
and we did. But we also were told to ignore a lot of other things as well. And so when we went into Ghost Dimension, now we listen to when the viewers say, I'd like it if it was a bit more like this. And if a lot of people are saying, maybe do that. Like today, when we finished editing the episode, we normally have a bit of music after the release. So the guest on the show, whose house it was, finished speaking, would normally have a bit of music going into the show. Of the investigation, but I said, no, so people don't like that, do they? Yeah. So we took that out, and it was like, because we listened to what people are saying.
Yeah, when we were in the early shows in Past Tense, we couldn't really connect with the following that we had, and that was a bit of a shame, wasn't it? But now we're in Ghost Dimension. It's there's no one else with us, so we can, and we love it. We absolutely love it, and we listen. We listen to all of the feedback that they give us, and then we try and implement it into the new shows.
We do.
Because that way, then it sort of goes along with the times, doesn't it?
Exactly. That's the only way you can grow, isn't it? By listening.
Where some of, obviously, with Most Haunted stuff, you watch the earlier episodes, it is very dated.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
On that note, we're actually going to take a quick break, so join us for more mad happenings and craziness just after this.
Hello, Harry Price here. If there's nothing me and my friends enjoy more here on the other side, it is to sit back and relax and listen to the Paranormal Concept Show, right here on the PA UK radio network. Broadcasting a plethora of interesting and informative content for all your paranormal needs. Find them across social media to keep up to date with forthcoming shows and all their other adventures. Hello, is there anybody there?
And welcome back to the Paranormal Concept Show, exclusive to the Paranormal UK radio network. Now, before the break, we're going into our second half of mayhem, should I say, with Sean and Bex Reynolds from Ghost Dimensions and Bear MedicineWalker from the same network as well, who work very, very closely together, although they come at it from very different angles, as you've probably found out in the first half of the show. Now, Paul, there was a question you were trying to get in the first half. so we'll start off with that one, because you couldn't get a word in edgeways.
Obviously, when you go to film your episodes, is there any place or location that you've done that nothing happened and you've had to ditch the episode?
Oh yeah, mainly on flying solo. Let me just have a quick look. We've been to a couple where there's nothing's happened and we ditched it. And in fact, I can't remember the name of it, but we did one where it was a place in Derbyshire. It was a pub. Not much was happening. And to top it off, the guy came out with a gun at the end, and he must have knew something wasn't happening, and he was going to have to go and hunt some deer, and that was it. We were just like, he was like, "Oh, you guys gonna be long?" And we were like, "You know
America?
What? Well, no." can see him with his gun now, and I was like, "You guys gonna be long?" I was like, "No, do you know what? We're gonna bail now because you've got your gun and nothing's happening. Why don't you shoot your deer in peace?"
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that one.
Sean rang me up and said, "I'm on my way home." I was like, "Wow, that was quick."
The guy's got a gun.
The guy had a gun, so we're coming home. I was like, "Oh, okay."
Absolutely.
Tell you what, there's quite a few episodes though that when we go into a place, nothing much happens, and then you'll be doing your thing and stuff like that, and then you'll obviously take a break and maybe have some food or whatever, and then when you come back, you forget, and so you're talking, you're laughing, you're doing all that sort of stuff, and that's when it starts to heat up. We noticed in Chillingham at the weekend. When it was earlier on in the night, wasn't it? Maybe 8 o'clock after the live. It was 9:30 after the live. We went through, we did some investigating, and it was active. Yeah, we got some stuff. And then when me and Sean went out to the witching hour, everybody was asleep. We went out to the witching hour and we got some really good stuff.
It was really good.
Very active. So I think also it has something to do with the times and stuff, whether a place is active.
But I think, we've been here for that long on this planet. There's be thousands of spirits wandering, so there's always going to be some energy of some sort somewhere. But it wasn't in that pub when he came out with his shotgun.
They were hiding behind the bar.
Yeah, they're probably
scared them off.
You don't know what we know.
How long does it take?
Got a gun.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to make an episode?
Oh, so to film it between 1 to 2 days. And then to edit it, it'll take, if it's like the series, Ghost Dimension the series, it can take a week for the episode. Not flying solo. The lockdown ones aren't too bad because we changed the format for lockdown. So it'll take a couple of days to edit an episode there. And we checked that off because we do a lot, we quite hand in hand with Pluto TV at the minute. We're owned by Viacom.
Yeah.
And so before we chopped the format to cut the intro down a little bit, for the lockdown, we sent it to them and he loved it. So we were like, oh, thank God for that. You know what I mean? Because it gives us more time because we're so busy at the minute as well with the stuff that we're doing. And they were like, yeah, no, we love it. It was like brilliant.
Yeah, because the main GD episodes, we had an intro, we had pieces to camera and all that sort of stuff. And so it took ages to film.
So we're just doing voiceovers.
With the lockdown episodes, we literally go into a place and we just investigate. And it was so much of a weightlifter because you think, wow, we can get more investigation done, and Pluto love it and they want them. So it's a bonus. It was a
So it is everything you do it yourself, the editing wise. I know we touched on it earlier, but it is everything you do yourself. So the sort of companies or the sort of outlets your shows go to, they don't sort of offer you any sort of help or anything like that. It's just a case of you package it.
We were just talking about that in a break. So no, they don't. They're really good at communicating with us. Like Roku's good at communicating with us. So Pluto are, whoever else we've got it with, they're good. But we use distributors to because you have to. I don't know if you understand it. Like when you distribute a program, you have to use distributors because they don't like speaking to us to do a deal. Yeah. Only for the reason that if they spoke to everybody who made a film or a series, they'd have too many people to speak to. So they might speak to a distributor and pay them, and that's the pain in the backside bit. So like at the minute, we're waiting to receive payment for last year for Pluto TV, for example, and Pluto paid late this year. So, but we paid. But now we're waiting for our payment, which is a pain. But the only reason that I'm on top of that now is because when we did the past hunters, we lost a lot of money because we couldn't be on top of it, and so this time we're on top of it. So we do get paid, but very, very slowly.
Yeah, we didn't really have free reign.
Proper slow.
We didn't have free reign with past hunters, so we lost out in a lot, and I think that's changed our look on things and how we do things, and we're on top of things now, and we're a lot more hands.
So we control everything now, except for just when we get paid. It's a real pain in the backside.
And that's in the lap of the gods, clearly.
Exactly. So it's dead nice. Go, hi. Yeah. Oh yes, I know you said you were going to pay this week. Oh, I know you're just changing your mind and now you're telling me another day. But I'd really like to get paid. Otherwise, I'll speak to somebody else about it. Because now, unfortunately, because we know we're so close with like the networks, if anybody annoyed us that much and we didn't get paid, I'd just speak to them and say, look, take it off or pay us direct. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's not about the money, but I tell you what, when somebody keeps your money, it is, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
Of course it is.
If somebody else has got the money that you've worked hard for and you want it, then that's when it becomes annoying. So,
Yeah. This is a thing, even in the spiritual side, of, you know, you've got a gift, so you shouldn't charge, but that's not how it works.
Oh.
Exactly. Well, everybody can watch our show free on Pluto, but Pluto put adverts on, and obviously we get a revenue share from that. So, you know, if we didn't get paid, I'd be mad. Do you know what I mean? Because that would,
And you're on Amazon Prime as well, aren't you?
Yeah, we're on Amazon Prime. My Five, the Roku channel, which is on Virgin and Sky, and that's worldwide anyway, isn't it? And so Pluto's worldwide as well. But we only just launched on Pluto US a couple of months ago, and that's good. And that was good. I'm looking forward to seeing what that brings. But I have noticed a lot of people coming in from America. I get a lot of friend requests now because they've watched it on Pluto in America. Which is very interesting. You know what I mean? Very interesting to see them all flying over.
So you've got your live streams. You do 2 shows a day. You've got your Ghost Dimension work. Your TV series. You've got so much. How do you possibly balance your life work? How is that working? Because you've got 3 kids, little ones. They're not even big kids. They're little kids.
They are.
It's crazy. I don't know how we do it.
Life is a roller coaster, but we keep one thing in mind when all of this roller coaster is happening. It's like in 10 years' time, the little kids will be bigger kids, and the roller coaster will be slowing down because they'll be able to fend for themselves. So we'll be able to just concentrate on more things, Ghost Dimension. So we just enjoy, don't we, the hectic life at the minute, because they're only small and they're making memories for them, I suppose, as well.
And that's why we enjoy trash TV in the evening. Just like watching that walk out.
I mean, just fall asleep, don't you? Just like by the time you sit down of a night, it's...
I agree there.
So, Bear, let me bring you in, because we haven't actually focused on Bear's work. Bear does a lot of live streaming herself. And you actually did one with Ryan Griffiths last night, didn't you? Raising money for kids' cancer, I believe it was. And you do live readings on that. How did that go for you?
It went really well. Working with Ryan is like working with these guys. He's got a little bit different energy, but he's a medium, and we kind of meld our energy when we do reads together. And and he has the same philosophy as I do too. And Lee Roberts and those guys over on the Hauntings are great. They've got a lot of integrity, but the reason I do these live streams with the reads, is because I have to give back. There has to be equal balance there somewhere, obviously, but part of what I do is to give back. And there's so much negative out there right now that, people have to look at their lives and count their blessings rather than count the negatives. They need to be aware of the negatives, but they also need to be aware that spirit is like that's my big thing. Like spirit, like these guys, they go out in the daytime and they get great evidence and they have a great investigation, and people interact with them and try to get them, to do what they're asking them to do. Like they'll say, Bex, use your singing bowl or whatever. So it's kind of about giving back to people, especially in this time right now that's so kind of negative. And when I do reads, I always kind of try to bring the positive to people. And I think that's why we do it. And I know Ryan does the same thing. And people need that. They feel good. I get, like Sean, I get people in my inbox, sending me messages and thank you so much, because, it really helped me process and look at things a little differently. And sometimes people just need that. They just need that little nudge, to kind of focus on the good in life and focus on what they need to do to get out of where they're at. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Totally. Particularly through this year. It's been a challenging year for everybody, hasn't it? And like you said yourselves, guys, through the lockdown, you started doing your live streams and bringing that fun factor in. I mean, I think Sean's hair went through just about every colour we can. You could imagine. He looked like Coco the Clown at one point with his COVID hair.
It's Teflon hair.
It is Teflon hair.
So how do you think then that, for both of you, both sides, that COVID has affected? It's been a very positive. I found it very positive for my life. That lockdown, that breathing space. I found that very positive. How did it happen for you guys? How did that affect you guys?
Well, for us, do you want to?
No, I agree with you. It worked in a positive way for us because obviously people were at home and with nothing to do, so we just give them something to watch and make them happy. I definitely think it's an outcome of a positive one for us.
It definitely was, and I think it was a positive. It was just positive, wasn't it? And if we hadn't have done it, we would have been incredibly bored. And it's helped us expand different things, and I don't think we would have started filming the lockdown shows, So definitely, it's been positive for us.
What about you, Mama Bear?
Well, I'm pretty much on the same boat, although I'm by myself in the cave all the time anyway, for the most part, other than the critters. And that's by choice. But I think it's led, again, me to push me to do things for other people, live streaming and stuff, to give them positives, to make a connection so that they have a connection like with these guys, or they have a connection with me, even though, inboxing me, I mean, I look at my inbox some days and I'm like, holy crow, are you kidding me? But it isn't bad. It's giving people hope. And like Sean says, it's getting them out of this place that we're all in right now with COVID. And, whether they believe it or not, whether they're going down the rabbit hole, doesn't matter. Because if they're reaching out to us and we can help them just for a moment, to me, it's all worth it. So.
And you don't realize when you're doing it how many people are out there that need to get away from the normal. And that's the weird thing.
There's a lot of people out there suffering because, I mean, we've all got inboxes full of people saying, I'm going through a really hard time now because of so-and-so. And, tuning in at 3:30 or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock just makes my day. And you don't realise how much it's changed my life. And it's a breath of fresh air to hear that. So yeah, I don't think there's anything negative on in terms of us. It's all been positive. Lockdown.
What's really cool, one of the really cool things that I kind of get a chuckle out of, every now and then during the lives, you'll get comments that are negative or from like, what do you call them, spammers or whatever, Oh, and we don't even have to do anything. I mean, the family, which I call the Ghost Dimension family that watch, they like jump on these people and like these people are done and gone before you can blink an eye. They defend us, and
very.
That's a good feeling, It's a good feeling that it's a family. We all care about each other and what's going on.
Yeah, they're fiercely protective.
They always want to see me naked for some reason, Beth.
But no, it's that being part of something, isn't it? And if it ties into your interest as well, which is the paranormal, which branches off into other areas. What do you make of all the conspiracy theories that are around? I mean, God, how many come out of America? Jeepers! I mean, there's a new one every day in America. They pass to shame for conspiracy theories, don't they, Americans?
I mean, there could be some truth in some of them, but there's I always say, there's not much you can do about it. If it's true or if it's not true. If it is true, what can you do? There's not. I know people say put in your numbers, mass voices could be heard, but if you got it wrong, you dropped a big clanger. But if you get it right, I don't think, because everybody is the way they are, you wouldn't get a massive following of people to change it, and the powers that be would be too complicated to do it for anyway. Yeah. So these things have happened in the past, and we just get on with them in life, and we move on. And I know that some people don't agree with moving on and they want to fight it, but I think if you fight it, it's a losing battle. And like I say, it could be real, it might not, but like the people that believe that COVID's not real. Whether or not it is or it isn't, it's had positives on people's lives, some of the changes.
And would you want to put other people in danger? No. Even if it's not real, would you still want to be that person who put that person in danger? No, I wouldn't. I mean, there's a lot of hate on wearing masks in public places. I have kids. I'm going to wear a mask. whether it's
if you're popping into a shop,
couple of
minutes
in a shop, or
Yeah.
max 45 minutes in a shop, just wear a mask. That's there's no harm. Surgeons wear it for 8 hours a day sometimes, and sometimes it gets on my goat because it's like, who are you preaching to?
But I also see these conspiracy theorists. I mean, I agree with some of the things that people say, but I see a lot of them are going, they've got a microchip you and all this, but we all walk around with a mobile phone in our hands, and that's the biggest microchip ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if we want to go, if we wanted to go down that route, there you go. You've got it. You've got a mobile phone.
Yeah.
A lot of people moan about 5G. We'll switch your internet off at home because most of the new modems now pump out 5G anyway. So we either live with it or live in it.
There's a lot of people with a lot to say, but if you're not willing to change it for you, if you have a lot to say, then don't bother saying it, because that's just hypocritical in my books.
And these people are the same people that say for example, 5G gives you cancer and all that palaver, right? They'll sit there and they'll drink Diet Coke with aspartame in it. Which is
true. Aspartame is banned in America. There's a reason why it's banned, and
they shipped it all over here.
They've got us to sort
of... in America, they make aspartame and they ship it to Europe.
Ship it over to Europe.
It's so true. It's so true.
It's these little things, the little eggs that people miss when they're spouting off about how bad this is and how bad that is and how stupid we all are. It's like, look first at yourself before you go and point the finger and say you're doing this wrong. You should confess.
And especially
what I'm
with people that have mental health issues that are out there, if they can't cope with some of the things that may not be true or may be true, then it's no good for that. You know what I mean? So you could drive people to the edge, couldn't you? But
that's where discernment comes in, though, doesn't it? To be fair, that's where discernment comes in, because you have that choice of unfriending or unfollowing or muting if someone's got too crazy. I mean, I have to say, I went through lockdown. It was crazy, and I was just going. I just got sick to death of it, and I just turned off I got rid of a load of people because I just didn't want to read it. It's just spout and hashtag wake up. Wake up to yourselves.
Hashtag sheep and all that.
Yeah, that's been around for so. And you know what? That is Matrix. The film, The Matrix has. We have that to blame for that. Wake up and you're still asleep and stuff. I love The Matrix. It was one of my best films. But there's a lot of captions on Facebook. You see it all the time, and it's basically Morpheus speaking, and you're like, that's not real. That's not factual.
It's a film, everybody. It wasn't a documentary.
I am guilty of pressing the not from unfriend. Take a break.
Take a break. I've done it on
Take a break
people.
and hide my statuses and hide theirs. I don't want to see them. If I see a status that says anything about COVID and it's a fake, even though it might be real, I can ship off, will you? Ship off.
Well, running the things that we run like this, my business and the show, and we've done, we know how difficult it is just to run something on that minor scale. Imagine trying to run a country. I do not believe that there is a worldwide conspiracy where all the governments got together. Yeah. They can't even organise a piss up in a brewery. Excuse the expression.
We wouldn't be attacking each other, would we, all the time? We've got to bomb you, but listen.
Exactly.
We've got this great virus. Let's release that one. That will bring them all to heel.
There'd be at least one person to break that chain and say, you know what, I'm going to speak out and I'm going to tell the truth. There'd be one person,
leader would. Yeah.
One leader surely would do that and break the chain and say, I'm going to speak out for everybody.
Because we're only human at the end of the day.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you could listen to our leader here, just inject bleach or use UV light and it'll be gone.
The thing is, when you listen to what he was saying, some of the concepts he brings forward, we've gone off on a tangent or something completely different from paranormal now. But when you actually listen to what you said, some of that treatment has been experimented with and had been looked at. But he didn't actually know the details of that. So what he put out there was taken completely out of context by the media. So I do feel some sympathy for Trump on some level. And then on the other hand, I think, oh my God, why no.
Yeah. If you live in here, Carrie, if you were living here, you'd be, oh no.
No, most of the time from over here, I'm going, oh no.
ignore it as best I can. But
you
you look at stuff like this, and then you go back, like when I was a child, and they introduced seat belts to cars, right?
Yeah.
And then they passed laws and said, well, y'all got to wear seat belts. That's the law. And people kind of were, crabby about that and upset about, we don't want to wear seat belts, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually, guess what? Everybody's wearing seat belts. So, the mask thing and everything.
Asking for exemption badges, Bear. I'm exempt.
I'm exempt with the seatbelts.
Because I got a big tummy.
That's the lockdown, right?
It steams my glasses up wearing a seatbelt.
My clothes.
It restricts me from leaning down into the footwell of the passenger seat.
So let's move this back.
Hey?
Let's move this back into the paranormal field. There are very fashionista and conspiracy theory kind of things go off in the paranormal field, and we see them all the time. So, like, going back in time, the all factor was one, and now that's been debunked, and now we've got the SLS camera, and there's controversy that surrounds that. There's always controversy in the paranormal field. You shouldn't investigate a graveyard, is one argument. You shouldn't play with dolls in a paranormal field. There's all sorts of things. What's been your favourite shouldn't do that you've done and thought, really? How stupid are you?
Really good question.
I don't know, I think the dolls, people say you shouldn't use the dolls,
Well, Mama
because of
Bear
the kids.
says that.
So we're just playing bad. So she keeps sending us these dolls, so you know what I mean? But because of the kids, I don't know, but we don't get as much as it as you would expect, where people say that you can't do it.
No.
I don't think we've had much except for the doll stuff, where people say, dolls are, and I get that because of children, but if there's a child spirit in the building, and that's the only haunted that's alleged to be there.
One thing we do get is don't do any sort of communicating in your house. Don't call out in your house. Don't do Ouija boards in your house. Don't do experiments in your house. But I think for us, living in the cemetery, it's different.
We got an exemption badge for that.
It's different when you live in a cemetery, because obviously they pass through when they're buried and stuff. And they come and visit us, and they come and see what we're about. And we like to see what they're about. I think I get that.
I would never go and investigate somebody that's just been buried in the past couple of years.
No,
never, because it would be disrespectful to the family.
We try and keep to the very, very old graves, like the 1880s.
Yeah.
You'll see the old graves.
And I am guilty of digging a grave up, because somebody told me the other day there was loads of money buried, so I've started digging the graves up, and then when people ask me, I say, I'm just here making new holes for people to go in.
He is joking. I would just like to put that out there.
Figures. No, I'm joking.
I will say, though, now with what I do, I get a lot of people that throw at me, what you're doing is the devil's work. Mm-hmm. What you're doing is wrong. You shouldn't connect with spirit. That's evil. And, they throw the Bible verses at me and stuff. I get that a lot. Not as much as I get the positives, obviously, but, they come in and, they don't mince words. No. And my thing is, tune into another channel. It's freedom of choice. You can watch me and not watch me, So it's just, and it's all down to choice, right? Mm-hmm. And I look at this field, and you either believe or you don't believe. Yeah. I think it's good to go in skeptical with everything, but sometimes I even will blow my own mind, because I'll do a reading with somebody, and then I'll come back the next day. They'll have sent me a note about something that I had said or did, and I was like, holy crap. And I don't even remember the read, because like an hour after I do a reading, the messages aren't for me, they're for them. So, but some of the stuff I brought through for people, it's helped them. So I don't look at what I do as evil, but there are people out there that will throw that at me,
And there is loads of money buried in the cemetery,
Oh my God!
No! Disclaimer alert!
Get her out there. What did you? told it was a bank robbery, and it was the money. And I was like, well, the money's in the cemetery, yeah, in a very old grave. I was like, really? A metal detector might find this. And the guy said, you can't find it with metal detector.
It's
Why?
paper.
It's paper. I was like, oh my God, I'll go and get the digger. Didn't get the digger.
Just to touch back on that question about the negativity and stuff like that, the way Bear said that people say it's devil's work, what Bear does and stuff.
Oh, we've had
it
that.
was interesting because the only sort of massive negativity that we've had towards us was we went to a church because a friend, she was in a band and stuff. She said, "Will you come and watch us?" So we were like, yeah. And then they found the people who ran the church. They found out what we did, and we do editing shows and stuff like that. We do adverts for Christmas and whatever. And then somebody said, "Can you edit something for our church?"
Yeah, that was
we
right.
said, "Yeah, we'll do that." And then when like the higher person in the church don't want to name names, but when she found out, she came up to us.
Rude, actually.
I think it was at a Christmas concert. We were watching it because our friend was in the Christmas concert. She came up to us and we had the 3 girls there. And she said, "Sorry, you can't edit." She was lovely, smiling to our face.
Can't edit because we need to safeguard the children from you.
We need to safeguard the children from you because what you do is devil worshipping. Yeah. What? We are looking for Aunt Mildred in the cemetery. We're not devil worshipping. And we were really, really, really angry.
It was only because she said safeguard. And
we
were like,
safeguarding our children.
Cheeky sausage.
So
that's
what
a
do you
bit
think
rude,
we
isn't
do?
it?
You know.
Yeah.
And we were really, really put out with that. But
I would turn around and say, look, it's not the devil's work. Your whole religion's based on Holy Ghost.
Exactly.
We didn't want to go there.
We didn't want to go into it, but there was a lot of things we could.
Yeah, let's just have a theological discussion regarding your religion. Most of that is actually paranormal.
Supernatural, yeah.
So you believe that a person came down to earth, died on the cross, and they got resurrected into the afterlife? I see.
Yeah. I don't see that's any different from what we do.
Honestly, I mean, it was, but we just see you later.
So we just sort of bit our tongues and walked out, and then we didn't go back.
No. But I have had some incredibly interesting theological discussions with members from the church regarding, and their viewpoint is incredibly varied. From the hardcore Bible bashers that will go, it is devil worship too. Actually, they're quite interested in exploring that side of things. So you do have a very varied range, even within religion, and different religions as well. Some won't even go into talking about it, but some.
When I was younger, and before I went into work one day, I worked at Children's Hospital in Detroit, and my now ex-husband was not comfortable with me seeing spirit. Well, I had to deal with it a lot at the hospital because I worked up in ICU, so I'd see kids that would be passing, or I had, kids with cancer would be talking about they're seeing angels or they're seeing grandma come in or whatever, and he wasn't comfortable with it. And he called his pastor of the Lutheran church to come to the house, and I come out to get ready for work one day, and there's this gentleman, young guy, standing in my room, and he's like, I was like, "Why are you here?" And he says to me, he says, "Well, your husband isn't comfortable with what you do. Why do you do it? It's devil's work." I said, "Well, I'll tell you what." I said, "Do you believe in God?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Well, so do I. I believe in God, and in God, I believe all things are possible." And he just stood there, and I said, Do you say that's wrong? And he just looked at me. And I said, "Well, you have a good day." And I went off to work, and that was the end of that.
Oh, my God, Mama Bear.
Yep, pretty much.
There.
Can I just say something? Every time, the whole time you've been on speaking today, I've just seen white flashes all behind you.
I've seen those.
Yeah, I've seen those too. Yeah, I've been seeing those too.
I've just seen one go up by the birdcage.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then you spoke to Sean, and I was thinking she's just seen what I've seen.
Yeah.
But quite often when Bear's on camera, you'll see a shadowy figure or something walking behind her. Quite regular that happens, doesn't it, Bear? You've always got a visitor around you.
Always. House is always full of spirit, and not the drinking kind, because I don't drink. But I actually had a conversation with somebody over in Scotland the other day, and it wasn't Ryan. But she sat there and she said, she was looking at me really weird. And I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Do you realize there's people standing like on either side of you and then behind you?" She says, "Do you have people in the house?" I said, "No." And I was calm. And she said, "Okay, well," and she told me who she saw. And she said, "Do you know these people?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Holy crow." I said, "Well, you're a medium and you're starting to expand that gift, and that's what you're seeing." So yeah, I how many times, Bex, have we said, well, the hair incident, oh, that was freaky.
The hair.
I was talking and they were out investigating. I think you guys were in the car, and I didn't even notice it. It was a friend that brought it to my attention. And when I do these lives with them and they're investigating, I make sure all of my windows are closed so I don't have breeze coming through. And it looked like somebody just took my hair and like pulled it back, but there was no hands there that pulled it back because I didn't have anybody in the house. So yeah, there's always kind of weird stuff going on here, but it's okay.
It's fun.
See, I do stuff in my house all the time as well, like energy work and stuff like that. And so I have visitors coming in and out of mine, and I don't think I've tried experiments in my house. I've done Ouijas and done all sorts of things. I've done a seance in my dining room. The kids have been upstairs, I just don't see it as a problem. And the kids just don't have a problem with it either. Paul dropped his kit, Paul Rook dropped his kit off one day because I was going out investigating and he needed the kit. And the Ouija board wouldn't fit in the kit, so it was sat just on top. That's the only time Leo was like, "Is that a Ouija board? Get it out of the house!" And I was like, "There's nothing wrong with it. But you've got the thing on top of it already. It could start talking. It won't do that unless you're actually touching it, Leo. You know what I mean?" And then you educate them. And then all of a sudden he was like, "Can we have a go?" I was like, "If you want to." But he's a bit older than your three. But it's things like that. But as far as I'm concerned, it's all just about education. And
it's all about education. And we always make sure everybody's protected around the house, and we all do that sort of stuff. But it's education. The kids are interested. We'll always talk to them openly about stuff, and we never lie to them. And I think that's the key to making them grow up into full, good, rounded people in society.
Until they become teenagers, and then they're like, you're the parent shame, and they don't want their friends knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm in that zone.
Mum, drop me off like up there so I can just walk down to my friends.
Yeah, don't touch me, don't come near me, don't cuddle me. I'm like, "Oh, but Mummy wants a cuddle, Mummy wants a cuddle." I do it deliberately just to wind him up now. He's 16 and he's like, "No, not having none of it."
Yeah.
So how far's too far for you guys?
Oh, Michigan.
Bear's not impressed. She's frozen.
Oh, there isn't really, is there? So we just push it.
Do you know what? I think all of
just
the
dark
witches,
stuff, when we get the witchy
stuff,
the dark witchy stuff, not the white witchy stuff, because Bear's a witch.
I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind the white stuff, but the dark stuff, like the demonic stuff, I don't like to venture into that. To be honest, too much. If it's there in an inver, then it's there, and we'll go along with it, and we'll talk to it and try and get some answers from it, but. We don't seek it out. No, I don't seek it out because I don't like to venture down that path. What about you? Anything else?
No, you just stole the words right out of my mouth.
Bear, how far's too far for you with your energy work?
Well, I'm here my purpose is kind of the path I've been on with the elders and the people that have taught me over the years. I'm kind of deal with death and healing. And when I say death, I mean death of maybe like you're changing a job. So a death of an old way. It doesn't necessarily mean death, but I also deal with transition. I've had demonic things happen with clients twice, and I can tell you it's not something I would want to do ever again, but I automatically get hold of elders, and it's handled by a group rather than just me. I don't know. It's whatever for me, and this is my truth, whatever creator God puts in front of me. it's in front of me, I'm supposed to deal with it. So it's not stuff that I go out looking for. But I like to educate people because spirit is here. And again, this is my truth, to assist us. You know, the spirit family that's there, typically that's around each of us, is people that we've either walked through our lives with here and have transitioned, or ancestral lines, or sometimes it's his guardians, you know. So I don't look at spirit as bad, and I don't really look, I don't think there is a too far with my work, because if I reach a point where it's something I don't understand, I get in touch with people that do understand to be able to assist. So, but I'm not on TV or live stream like these guys are 24/7 with it. So if I have a client, that's a private thing. So yeah, it's kind of like, and it's between me, them, and whoever, right? So I don't know. I don't think too far, because I've dealt with a lot of different things over the years.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, totally understand that perspective. So what would your take be on more modern cases? Like if, you know, there's again, we go back to the fashionista kind of thing of trying to contact people that were related to sort of some famous murder cases and things like that. I personally find it a little distasteful because it's within living memory.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's my personal view on that one.
Yeah.
Well, it's modern, isn't it? And it's too close.
It is too
what I mean?
close.
It's too close. It's like going out for. It's just fame chasing. That is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fame
Well,
chasing.
I'll say this, okay? It's not something I'd go out and look for. I would definitely not want to go to, Black Dahlia's house, you know, the guy that was kind of accused of it. I would not want to go to that house and call up spirits from that house. That's, to me, is playing, and that's Hollywood. That's ratings and all that kind of stuff. They're not doing it for a solid reason. But on the flip side of that, and it may make me sound crazy, but I've had other people see them when they're here. I have had famous people stop in. You know, I've had Frank Sinatra come through. I've had Whitney Houston come through. I've had Michael Jackson come through on different occasions for different reasons. So, famous people, you know, they're just like anybody else. They, you know, when they were here in life, they did the same kind of things that people in life do.
Yeah.
So, but I don't go searching for it.
When they came in, did you ask them to give you a song?
Actually, I will tell you, Whitney Houston, and this is the God's honest truth, and I actually talked to another medium who I did not tell that she was here, and she asked me point blank when she saw me, she goes, "Why is Whitney Houston standing behind you?" And I'm like, "Oh God, I'm not losing my mind, right?" She didn't sing to me, but she kicked my butt. And she kicked my butt for 3 months, and there was a reason for it. And I know that sounds crazy, but I had back surgery last year, and I was in a really bad spot. I don't do narcotics, so it wasn't healing properly. And I was kind of on this dive of, I don't want to be here. I wouldn't like commit suicide. That's not what I'm saying, but I just didn't have energy for life. And she came in, and a lot of the things that she struggled with were brought through for me. And when I finally finished it, she gave me a date, and I kept saying, "What the hell is this date? What the hell is this date?" When I finally figured out what the date was, which was her birthday, that was it. She was gone. It was like confirmation for me that yes, she had been in and kicking my butt. And I can tell you, she was really kicking my butt.
That's what you needed.
Yep, absolutely.
So when you get a spirit like that, you know, like somebody that iconic, I mean, you've named 3 incredibly iconic people there. I mean, I have to say, if I got Frank Sinatra, I'd be like, "Oh my God, it's Frank Sinatra! Oh my God!" You know, a proper hero worship moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how do you deal with that?
Again, they're just like ordinary people. And actually, Frank Sinatra came through because they were doing something with Frank Sinatra's songs, I think it was, right?
I remember.
And you were actually at a place that he had been back in the days during the war, and I actually got a hold of them and said, I think, and I don't remember why I called you guys about it or something, and I said, Frank Sinatra keeps telling me he's here, and he had his rocks glass, like I was like behind him, and he had a glass of bourbon, and he was sitting there in his army garb, like his, everyday fatigues, and he was singing, and there was smoke-filled room and all this stuff, and I called them, and they were actually doing a segment where he was. So, yeah, that was interesting. I don't know. You just take it. I've been doing this since I've been a kid, so I don't know. It just kind of goes with the territory, I guess. I don't go out and say, to everybody, so-and-so. It's not about that. It's about the messages they bring. But that was supposed to be right?
Bear didn't know anything about what we'd just done, but Sean had spoken to a relative of Frank Sinatra because we wanted to use a piece of his music on a show.
Oh, that was right. I remember now, yeah.
And Bear didn't know that, and then obviously we spoke to Bear on Facebook, whatever it was, on
his daughter or something.
To see if we could use it on a show, his music on a show. Yeah. And we FaceTimed you all, just to chat about things going on. And then we hadn't told you about us connecting with his daughter. And that is when, obviously, everything happened with you with Frank Sinatra. And we didn't tell you. And then we said, actually, we're speaking to his daughter. And so that was another thing that Bear had done that we hadn't communicated about. But yeah, we were speaking to his daughter. Remember?
And he kept saying, "Come fly with me." And the next episode that you did was
that was the song.
It was "Come Fly with Me." Yeah, that's it. So famous or not, they want to connect, and they connect. Like I said, I'm the messenger, so Carrie, I see Buddha every now and then too. So I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I've connected with Freya before now, so what difference does it? There is, good old Freya. That was an interesting experience, is all I can say.
It's not a dialogue. I can't it's not like picking up a phone and saying, I'm going to call Marilyn Monroe today.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't.
They show up and, they just show up.
Yeah.
Well, yes, they certainly do when they turn up. There's not a lot you can do about it. But isn't it weird, though, the synchronicity of you do? It's almost like you've got permission from Frank Sinatra to use that piece of music. It's not the daughter. You got it from the man himself.
So you didn't need to contact the daughter. You could.
I was wasting the time.
Oh, that effort. If only you'd known.
I wonder how that would sit in a court of law.
Yeah. Wavered the copyright.
Yeah.
So would you guys go and get into a coffin or go into one of those morgue trays? Would you do that?
We actually have done that in Newsham Asylum, where we passed on to Sean. I think it was Sean got into one.
Yeah, I've been in one.
I was offered to get into one. I was like, no, not in Cat and Hell's chance.
Sean said,
I'll get in one.
Why does this not surprise me?
I think he heard some scratching in there and some bangs and knocks and stuff.
Yeah, and it was an interesting experience, you know what I mean? It was a very interesting experience, and I wouldn't rush to do it again, but it was very interesting at the time to go in there and sit there where somebody might have been. Very interesting. But I had a wash afterwards.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's a bit icky, isn't it? It's a bit, no thanks.
Well, in the old morgues, the places that aren't active anymore with real humans, I would say, yeah, but I worked at Children's, and, part of our job was to take the deceased down to the morgue. And somehow I always landed part of that job because no one wanted to go with the nurse or whatever other nurse that had to take them down. And I worked the afternoon and midnight shift. So it was kind of like a different feel down there. But I always felt it was the last place you could, and this isn't every morgue at every place, obviously, but I always felt that it was the last honoring thing you could do for a person that had just transitioned. Like, you did it with love, so it was always good. But it always had like the hair on your arm stand up vibe when you went down there. So for me, yeah, that was something I've experienced a few times. I don't know that I'd crawl in a place like Sean did, like that's not open, like Eloise here at a morgue, and I don't think I'd want to go down there because it's closed, and it was a sanitarium, and it's like, yeah, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I have enough crazy in my life, thank you very much.
I don't think my hips would allow it, to be fair, getting in one of those these days. In my younger years, maybe, but my hips these days trying to climb into something is just no, not these days. So, guys, what's your favourite? I mean, let's go to the basic questions. Favourite location, most active for you?
Newsham Asylum for me.
Newsham Asylum, and I think
House of the Devil in Gran Canaria.
That was fantastic because it's like, we're in the middle of nowhere, and we were obviously on holiday.
It was on holiday. It was hot. It was full of devil stuff, but it was lovely haunted place. Yeah, absolutely fantastic location.
Back in my day, it was the Gem Theater in Detroit when they had moved the building and it was under construction. A friend of mine worked down there, and it was just off the charts active.
Yeah.
A lot of it, though, in old Detroit area was a lot of mobsters back in the day, like in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. So you get a lot of that activity. I haven't been in any new ones for probably 15 years because I have enough spirit in my house. I don't need to go find more, But yeah, the old Detroit was great for me.
Old Detroit.
Yep. Hi, baby.
We got a little baby come on screen now. Got another one of the little family has just popped on to say hello.
They're all gone bonkers, off with their head. It's on the sound.
She's a lunatic.
It's on the soundboard.
Maniac, you are. Sleep with one eye open.
You should sleep with one eye open.
So what's next for you guys? Because you're so busy right now. What's next for you? What's your next plans of action?
Well, we're going to be filming some more of the Ghost Dimension lockdown shows, and I think we'll be starting a new series soon, won't we? We
will.
And continuing to do what we do, which is entertain everybody in the day and the evenings, and having fun with the Ghost Dimension family.
I think also, this year was meant to be the year that we travel to the US and do a whole bunch of stuff down there. But I think after COVID, we'll be travelling a lot more.
We just need to go away, don't we?
No, but just to probably go to the US if we can.
We're going to go fly to Michigan and see Margaret.
We'll do a load of episodes out there because the kids are homeschooled, so we've got that freedom to actually travel wherever we want. So, yeah, I think after lockdown, that's the next. That's where we'll go next.
When you film the next series of Ghost Dimensions, have you got locations all set ready, or are you still working on some of them?
We're still working on them because we're quite far in advance on the edits, so we've got like shows filmed and already done, and so then we're just constantly looking and going out for new locations. So we're always on the hunt
rely on everybody else as well to find us a lot of it.
It just seems to come to us, So people just come on phone and say, "Oh, by the way, I got this location." We're like, "Brilliant, yeah, that's smashing. We'll go." And if we get a spare 5 minutes, we'll have a look online and see what's going on and see if there's any activity locally or somewhere else. So it's part of the day looking at all that stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
It's all crazy.
That's it.
Well, I'll speak to you after the show.
I was about to say that. Funny enough, maybe you should have a little chat with my Paul Rook over there. Mm-hmm. Cheeky wink.
Oh, dear.
We do. I'm just going to go mad now and just go, we do!
Completely cuckoo. Completely cuckoo. So, I think next year might be a little bit too ambitious, but with the COVID situation, maybe the year after we can all start hitting it hard again out on the location field. But for now, it really is a question of small locations with yourselves, going out, isn't it? It is a lot more like that at the moment. And the UK has a plethora of locations which are untapped at the moment for you to go and explore. Do you just when you're on holiday, you've got the kids, I take it you've got a nanny or your mum or something, to help you with this?
Yeah.
I bet they carry the cameras for you instead.
I was going to say, homeschool, because now you've gone there homeschooled, and I'm sitting here thinking, I can't manage to do any of that with my two. How do you do it?
They're good kids. They're really, really good kids. I mean, Ella's 3, so she doesn't know much. She's at that age where she's like, you tell her not to knock something off the table, and she'll just look at it and go, and knock it off anyway.
Yeah.
But the other 2, they're at that age where they'll be like, Mum, do you want some help? And I'll be like, yes, please. But when we do go away on holiday, we tend to go where we know people. So I mean, we went to Gran Canaria and did the House of the Devil.
We had friends over there.
We had friends. We didn't actually take the kids on those episodes.
No, we flew out
days.
without. We had a break without the kids.
We did.
Lovely.
But if we were to go, I mean, if we went to America, we've got people in America that can look after the kids while we go and shoot an episode. We're trying to just tend to do it where we know people, so we have that port of call.
Drop them off at Paul's or Kerry's.
Yeah.
I'll teach them loads of bad habits. Don't worry. Drop them off here. They won't have a clue what you'll be like. My kids were brilliant before they got dropped off at Kerry's.
Yeah, that's right.
They come back swearing and all sorts.
Do you know what Ella says? What the hell all the time?
Oh,
She goes,
hey.
what the hell?
Oh, hey.
Like, what? Did you get that?
I'll have them doing occult rituals and all sorts.
Yeah, go for it.
Hands of Glory coming home as a do-it-home present for you. So
you
guys,
think she's joking?
Oh yeah, they think I'm joking. I'm so not. So guys, it's just a whirlwind of energy that you bring to the field, and it's absolutely amazing to watch, particularly everything that you did through the lockdown. I have to say, it had me in stitches many times. So thank you from me to you guys, because you do definitely bring that fresh breath of fresh air to the field, in sometimes a field that is, how should we say, full of drama, the paradramas that are out there. And that doesn't seem to follow you guys at all. Not really. Not like some teams. Some teams seem to get nothing but the dramas come to them. And you don't seem to get that at all, do you? Which is fantastic.
Well, it's because we put positive vibes out there, and if you put positive vibes out there, you get positive back.
But we stay away from a lot of it because we don't want to be drawn into that. Because
we haven't got time, man.
We
haven't got time to be getting involved in that.
But like you've seen on the
trash TV to watch.
Like you've seen on the live, we just want to be positive in life in general. And we just we want to keep people happy as well as ghost hunting. We don't like to get into that bitchy world of paranormal, which it is.
Yeah, we've seen it
a lot.
We've seen it, haven't we? We've seen it.
But we keep our mouths shut a lot, and we don't say too much about it. And I think that's what makes us different.
It does, doesn't it? Nobody interviews us. Nothing.
It's all right. We have the same. Don't worry. Yeah. Nobody interviews us because we don't bring the paradrama to the table.
Boring, we are.
We just do our thing in the background, don't we?
Yeah, that's all you can do.
But that's all you can do. And Bear, what's up for you? What's coming up for you? You carry on going, girl?
I'm just keeping moving forward with what I'm doing. I have my show, Spiritually Paranormal, I do on Wednesdays in between these guys, and bringing on people to talk and kind of show different sides of different things that they do. And just working with these guys, and I'm doing a lot of readings, and I'm actually just starting to get back into some of the artwork I do, and that's been a real struggle because I want to do it, but then I don't want to do it. I want to do it. I don't want to do it. And it takes a lot of energy to sit with it because it's real spiritual. Like I make spirit walkers and things, and I've got people wanting them, but I'm I don't know. I don't know if I'm hesitant because I have to have I have to go in for another surgery here in a couple weeks, which is minor compared to what I had done. So I don't know, just taking care of me and doing what I do. And I just kind of free flow it with whatever spirit pushes me to do, I guess, pretty much.
And that's how you've got to do it. Sometimes you have to look after yourself to bring the energy forward in other ways in the future. So it's about getting you right, isn't it? Nothing wrong with that at all. Anyway, we're actually coming to the end of the show, guys. It's an absolute whirlwind of 2 hours that we've been down. I know, right? Guys, where can people find you? Give everybody a shout out. Where can they go and find you?
www.ghostdimension.co.uk. That's the website. Or Amazon Prime, Pluto TV, My5. I've not got a cheat sheet behind me. I just normally look behind me. A Roku channel. Or just search online for Ghost Dimension and you'll be able to, I'm sure it'll just pop up and you'll be able to find us. So that's the best thing to do. Or just check us out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or Facebook.
Family.
Or
FaceTube, as you call it.
That's it.
FaceTube or YouTube.
Yeah, show me name.
And Bear, where can guys find you?
They can find me anywhere on Facebook. Just type in my name or my website at bearmedicinewalker.com or over by them guys. You can always leave a note in one of the groups or on their page. I find it or they find me, whatever.
On that note, I'd like to say thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on our show. And having watched you do your thing, it's an absolute pleasure to see fun being brought into the paranormal world, which sometimes is incredibly lacking, with a lot of integrity with the work that you do in the paranormal. So thank you for that. Guys, anything to add?
No, I totally echo what you just said there, Kerry. It's been a great show, and certainly we'll be checking out the guys a lot more in the future, and I look forward to seeing more of their shows. And hopefully, if you're down Essex way, and give us guys a shout, we'd love to come out with you.
That would be, we'll hold you to that. We definitely will.
Yeah, definitely, that'd be good.
Ozzy's just taking centre screen there. Come on.
He usually does, so he does what he wants, right? He's a good cat. He's an old boy, though.
18.
Yeah, 18 years young.
Oh, bless him. Paul, anything to add?
No, again, just echoing again what you guys already stated, really. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Total whirlwind, fantastic. Definitely have you on again, and I'll speak to you again after the show regarding another location for it.
Nice to get that cheeky little plug in.
A little cheeky wink going on there. On that note, if you'd like to know more about us guys on the Paranormal Concept Show, go over to our website, which is www.paranormalconcept.com, where you can read all of the blogs and see all the show links. On that note, we'd like to bid you a very farewell. Say good night, guys.
Night, guys.
Barclays app features help me manage my money and see where it's going. Now I've got that all-seeing feeling. I can see all my upcoming scheduled payments so I can plan ahead. See exactly when and where I spend my money so I know what types of things I'm spending it on. And compare my monthly balances so I can see my every move. Get the all-seeing feeling for yourself with money management features in the Barclays app. Make money work for you. Barclays. You need to be 16 or over to use the Barclays app. T's and C's apply.
At Ring, we reinvented the doorbell. And now we're changing the way you look at whole home protection with Ring security cameras.
Wait, Ring does cameras too?
That's right. And they're so versatile, you can put them inside or outside, wherever you need them most.
Handy.
Ring cameras let you see, hear and speak to anyone inside or outside your home. And you can control them all from the Ring app to keep you and your family connected and protected.
Now that is smart.
Ring. Smart security, made simple. Learn more at ring.com.